You meet someone new, you have a good time, and then suddenly you're stuck in your head analyzing every text, emoji, or pause in conversation. Did she lose interest? Did you say something wrong? Or is she just busy? If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you are definitely not alone. A lot of men overthink early dating because of how modern dating works today and because of how we've all been taught to look for signs instead of focusing on connection. If you're new here, hi, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're talking about something that almost every guy struggles with at some point or another: overthinking early dating signals. I'm going to break down why men tend to overthink, how it actually pushes women away, and what to do instead so that you can feel calm and confident in those early dating stages. Number 1, the uncertainty phase creates anxiety. Early dating is full of unknowns. You don't know how the other person really feels, you don't know where things are heading, and you don't have any real sense of security yet. That lack of clarity naturally triggers anxiety, and for a lot of guys, that anxiety turns into overanalysis. It's human nature to want control over an unpredictable situation, and when we can't control something, our minds start to sort of fill in the blanks. That is when you find yourself dissecting every little detail: the tone of her texts, how long she takes to respond, or what it meant when she said she had fun. You might even start assigning meaning to things that don't mean anything at all. The reality is, you're trying to control an outcome that you can't yet control. Uncertainty feels uncomfortable, so your brain looks for patterns and clues to calm the discomfort. But all that does is make you more stressed and less present. So instead of constantly analyzing what every little thing means, remind yourself that early dating is supposed to be uncertain. You're both still figuring things out, not just whether you like each other, but whether your lives and personalities actually align. The goal isn't to read every single move that she makes, it's to just stay open, curious, and self-assured while you see if a genuine connection is there. The second thing I'm going to talk about here today is that past rejection creates hypervigilance. A lot of overthinking actually comes from our past experiences, especially things like rejection, ghosting, or being blindsided by someone who lost interest after you thought that things were going well. When that happens, your brain learns to scan for danger. It becomes hypersensitive to changes in tone or behavior because it wants to prevent you from getting hurt again. So you start to look for signs of disinterest before it even happens, just to feel like you're staying one step ahead. And the problem with this is, this makes you overly alert to things that don't actually mean anything. A text that's a little bit shorter, a reply that takes a few hours, those small neutral behaviors suddenly become proof that she's losing interest in you. But in reality, it's not about her behavior at all. It's about your fear of being reactivated. Your brain is saying, we've been here before and we don't like it and we don't want to feel that pain again. So what you need to remind yourself of is that this new person is not your ex or your past situation. Instead of trying to preempt rejection, focus on responding to what's actually in front of you. Pay attention to their consistency, their actions, and how they make you feel when you're with them, not what you're afraid might happen. Again, might happen. You don't even know if it's going to happen, so don't expect it to. Number 3, you're interpreting ambiguity as rejection. Most early dating signals are ambiguous by nature. She might text you less one week because she's genuinely busy with work or family. She might not flirt as much because she's trying to go slow or doesn't want to seem too forward. But when you really like someone, your brain starts amplifying those small changes, turning them into signs that something is wrong. Kind of like what I mentioned already in the video. You might start thinking, she didn't text me first this morning, so she must not like me anymore, when in reality, she might have woke up late or had a busy morning. It is so easy to forget that early dating is not a perfectly balanced back and forth. Sometimes one person initiates more, sometimes the other person does, and that's completely normal. What's important is the overall pattern, not these isolated moments. Does she make time for you? Is she engaged when you're together? Does she follow through on what she says? Those are the real signs that show interest. When you zoom out and you look at the big picture, you'll realize that one delayed text or a slightly different tone doesn't always define her feelings. The more you give space for those normal fluctuations, the less likely you are to spiral over temporary ambiguity. Number 4, you're seeking validation instead of connection. One of the biggest reasons guys overthink is because they start chasing validation instead of focusing on a connection. When you really like someone, it is so easy to slip into a mindset of trying to win her over, to do or say all the right things so she'll choose you. But when your attention is completely on how much she likes you, you lose sight of whether you actually even like her. That mindset puts all your power in her hands. You start needing constant reassurance that she's still interested, and that energy creates pressure not connection. Women can sense when a guy's confidence is tied to how she responds to him. It makes the dynamic feel really unbalanced, and it takes away the relaxed, natural energy that is so important in early dating. The fix here is so simple, but it's powerful and it works. Shift your mindset from, does she like me, to, do I like what I'm seeing so far? That mental shift helps you stay grounded and curious instead of anxious and reactive. When you approach dating as an equal exchange, two people just seeing if they're a good match, you'll automatically appear more confident, more calm, and more authentic. And you won't be coming across so needy and desperate, which is incredibly unattractive to women. Number 5, modern dating amplifies overthinking. Let's be honest for a second. Dating in 2025 makes it really easy to overthink. Trust me, I have been there too. Between social media, dating apps, and a constant connectivity, we have access to way too much information. You can see when someone was active online, when they viewed your story, when they liked someone else's post. Every small digital action becomes an opportunity for your brain to start spinning a story. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we are wired to fill in the blanks, and the digital world gives us endless blanks to fill. You might think, well, she saw my message, but she didn't reply, or she posted a selfie but didn't respond to me yet. And before you know it, you've built an entire narrative in your head based on minimal evidence, based on a story that your brain is creating that may or may not even be true. Although it might feel like it in the moment, that constant monitoring doesn't actually make you feel more in control. What it actually does is feed your anxiety and make you less secure. I think this is why it's so important to set sort of digital boundaries for yourself. Don't stalk her social media, don't reread old texts, and definitely don't check her activity status 24/7 to see what she's doing all the time. Those habits do not give you clarity, they just keep you trapped in analysis mode. Instead, focus on your in-person connection. Pay attention to how she treats you, how you feel when you're around her, and whether the energy between you is growing or fading. That's what actually matters. And again, look at the bigger picture and not these little one-off things that may or may not mean anything at all. Number 6, overthinking makes you appear less confident. Ironically, the more that you are in your head, the less confident you appear, even if you're normally a pretty confident person. Overthinking pulls your focus away from the moment and into self-consciousness. You start second-guessing your tone, your jokes, even your body language, and it makes you awkward. When you're not present, the energy you give off shifts. You might seem hesitant, nervous, or unsure, not because you lack confidence, like I said before, but because your attention is everywhere else except the present moment. This is where overthinking can subtly sabotage attraction. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, men who can hold space, who can stay relaxed, and who aren't easily thrown off by uncertainty. When you're in that kind of mindset, you come across as someone who is comfortable in their own skin. So when you notice yourself spiraling, slow down, take a step back from your phone, go for a walk, lift weights, journal, talk to a friend, do something that brings you back into your body and out of your thoughts. Meditation, running, there are so many different things you can do when you find yourself sort of spiraling. And confidence doesn't mean that you never overthink. I overthink sometimes too. It just means that you don't let those thoughts completely run the show. You can acknowledge them, breathe through them, and choose to act from calmness instead of anxiety. And the next thing I want to talk about is the cure: clarity and self-trust. At the end of the day, overthinking early dating signals isn't really about her. It's about your relationship with yourself. When you fully trust yourself to handle whatever happens, regardless of what it is, you stop needing constant reassurance. You're no longer reading into every little sign because you know that no matter what the outcome is, you are going to be okay. That is real confidence, not the loud performative kind, but the quiet self-assuredness that says, I know my worth and I don't need to chase it. When you're grounded in that kind of clarity and self-trust, you can actually enjoy the process of getting to know someone instead of trying to always predict where it's going. You show up as your authentic self, you give the connection space to develop, and you attract people who are drawn to that calm confidence. That is when you become truly magnetic because you're not forcing anything. You're just being yourself and letting the right people meet you there. So if you catch yourself overthinking early dating signals, take a breath and remember, clarity comes with time, not constant analysis. You can't control how someone else feels, but you can control how you show up. And the more you focus on connection instead of control, the less you'll find yourself in your own head. So that is all I have for this one. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this every single week. I post on Wednesdays and Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. Have you ever experienced anything I talked about in today's video? I know as I was making this video, I was thinking back to myself while I was dating, and I was definitely doing a lot of the things on this list. So this video would have been very helpful for me about 10 years ago. So I really hope this video helps. Would love to hear from you guys down below. And I would also love to hear if you've been working on a lot of these things and what you've done that has helped. I think that would help a lot of other guys out as well. Always love when we can help each other out down in the comments and share some little nuggets of wisdom that maybe we wouldn't have thought of without having a community here. So if you haven't already, also be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.